Hello, everybody. Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here, back again. I am actually going to address something that's a little bit awkward, and at first, people are going to be like, they're going to be very offended, but stay with me. Now, in communities, there's an acceptance of a lot of excuses that are given and that are believed that community residents take in, and it's like a slow decay. Because when you accept these excuses or you accept this way, things are left to get worse. But I want you to go check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective on Facebook, Lake Station Strong Local Conversation on Facebook, Lake Station Community Advocate on YouTube, and obviously if you're here watching me, well, you're here. But I hope you came prepared, listening ears. I hope you have a pencil and paper, something to write on and write with, and I hope you're ready to take a couple notes and to learn something. And again, I want to say that this is not directed towards anyone specifically, but there's been a lot of these excuses that for so very long have been believed, it's been said to themselves, and they believe it. And there needs to be a better way of looking and observing our community and accepting our community. Well, here's a couple of excuses. Well, they're looking into it, or, well, we'll keep you informed, or, well, they replaced that 10 years ago. Why are they having to fix that again? Or we just fixed that 3 days ago. How come we're back over there fixing it again? Here's one that a lot of people tell themselves, well, at least they fixed it. They got to it. At least they were finally getting to it. And while it sounds, oh, those are no big deal, truly listen to the depth of what is being accepted. One, when you accept a lot of these excuses, first you're accepting the fact, the way of thinking, and that way of thinking is bad because when you accept that, oh, well, at least they got it done at some point, at least they finally fixed it, well, at least they're looking into it, well, it's on their list, or, oh, well, they just replaced it, so they got to get back to it again and they don't want to waste the money. Whatever the case is, you have now allowed yourself and openly accepting of the fact that you're going to be taken advantage of as a resident. Not just that, but it begins a slow, heightened sense of a lack of accountability for the administration in your town. And then for yourself, when you start to believe those things, and people really do believe those things because they tell themselves like, it's just a normal way of life, where you go, when you tell your kid to clean a room, at least they got to it, who cares? At least they finally got to it. Don't accept that. Hold a higher standard, especially for your administrators within your town and your departments. But there comes a low expectation with that city department and those administrators. You start to lower the level of expectancy of their rectifying of situations. You start to lower the expectations of who these people really are. But you continue to agree with them because they're the leaders and they supposedly know more. Well, you're a resident too, and remember, they're residents. Do you think they're the only ones who know better in our town? For sure not. And a lot of times when you accept the fact, well, we're looking into it or we'll keep you informed, there's a lot of deceptiveness in accepting those excuses as well as, oh, we're just going to hold that resident off so they get off our back because we got enough to deal with. And when you accept those excuses, you really first off, it's not effective of getting anything done. When you start accepting those ways, it starts to create a culture, an environment that stems down into the community, and that's not a good place to be. But it also changes the dynamic, and it changes the dynamics for the community residents as well, because when one starts, they all start, and then everybody's all on the same page. And it doesn't mean because they're on the same page that it is a positive note. The other thing that happens is people become complacent. They become lazy. And people are allowed to become lazy, and eventually, when people are allowed to become lazy, they start to get away with things, and altogether, they just slowly just don't address community concerns at all until someone brings attention to it in community advocacy, and then all of a sudden, a person is demonized because they drew attention to something that was left for so long. So accepting these ways eventually brings in the comfortability of the fact that the community conditions are getting worse and everybody's okay with it. Even though they can physically see it, even though they're physically experiencing these things, they know that if they speak out that they will be demonized. First, that's not community. Secondly, I would start demanding some accountability and some transparency from the administrators. And if you have community concerns, say it, speak it. It's the great thing that residents should be doing. The other thing is by accepting a lot of these excuses, is you start to lose ambition of wanting to fix things in your town. You not only don't want to try harder, but things become stagnant. There's no productivity. There's no positivity. It grows stagnant. Not just that, but there's a lack of critical thinking and a lack of community awareness of what's really going on in the community. As in this situation, nobody wanted to comment or mention anything until I said something about it or drew attention to it, or the fence, or the football post, or the spray paint that's on 3 sides of this building. Now, again, in my last video, I mentioned about patting yourself on the back. It's not about patting attention. There's a little bit of a difference here. And the difference is I'm not doing this for glory. It's advocacy, right? I'm showing that there are things that need to be addressed, that are being overlooked, that have been accepted. And these things continue to stay where they are because, well, that's just the new culture of accepting the excuses by administrators or accepting the ways that they do things. And this shouldn't happen. So for your homework, I want you to go through what the acceptance of bad excuses happens, not just to an individual, but to a home, to a community. And again, these excuses bring due to lack of awareness within the community. Community concerns are left alone, and they're usually often ignored until someone brings attention to it. So don't accept these lies of, well, we're looking into it. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's on our list. We're getting to it eventually. We got other things we got to get to first. Or, yeah, we replaced that a couple years ago. Or, hey, at least it got done. At least, they fixed it finally. Because in reality, that really doesn't sound too hot, does it? Now, none of this ignoring of and neglect of the elements within our town is the fault of any regular resident. They just don't know any better oftentimes, which is why I also educate for residents to know and to think differently. And these are bad cultural traits, though, when you accept these excuses that should never be accepted in the first place. In my next video, I'm going to go through some 5 elements of why our green spaces, why our playgrounds are actually very important, and how they're important for our communities. Now, everybody's like, oh, I said that years ago. Whatever the case, excuses. Everybody mentions it, but no one's really trying to get it through. And it's so funny that I mention things, and I'm not trying to really change much. By nature, I'm really not. But it's really crazy that when I mention something, boy, they jump fast. And it's a great thing because that is exactly how community advocacy works. So on your bus ride home today, I want you to look through your neighborhood. I want you to look at, are the lines painted at the stop signs as they should be, at the crossing walks for the kids to cross from the schools? Are they there throughout the community for people to walk through and pass through their intersections? Look at the signages. Are the signages all correct? Are they all there? Are there any fire hydrants that are painted black with low pressure or no pressure within your community section? What's going on, folks? Pay attention because it's all out there. It's not just me. It's there. So I hope you've learned something. In my next video, I'm going to go through some 5 elements. It's a very quick video. It's very wholesome. It's actually very inviting. I invite you to go check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective on Facebook, Lake Station Strong Local Conversation on Facebook, as well as on YouTube. And obviously, if you're TikTok, you're here, you see me. So demand some accountability and some transparency and integrity from our leadership. They ought to be doing the right thing when no one's looking. They ought to be able to be honest with our residents. They should be honest with what they have planned and what's going on, other than, oh, we had a meeting about it. Everybody was invited, but no one could find out when and where. So, but be an eagle, don't be a crow. Challenge the status quo, because if you don't, you never know what you can achieve alone or together for the community and for the long haul and for the long run. I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate. Till next time.